This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cardabber welcoming you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy, I know it's a little bit biased because I'm a Leaf fan and all that, but this guy is more than the Leaf captain. Especially before he became a Toronto Maple Leaf, he was amazing. Well, he's 31 today, but you gotta realize he was the number one overall pick by the New York Islanders in the 2009 entry draft, where he spent 9 years with the Isles. He was a prime star in the OHL. He actually was 14 years old and got exceptional player status, meaning that he can play in the OHL earlier than most people can. He was named the Canadian Hockey League Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year in his time with Oshawa in London. In fact, he broke the OHL record for goals by a player in his career, 215, beating it by 2. Tavares was unsuccessfully pushed to make him participate in the 2008 entry draft, despite the fact that the rules state if you aren't born by September 15th, later than September 15th in a certain draft year, you have to wait till the next year. So even though he was 5 days out of that, he could have participated in the 2008 entry draft, but he was born 5 days too late. As well as an attempt to have him play in the AHL as a 17-year-old in 2007. Well, the Islanders got him and all that. Tavares helped Canada win gold medals at the 2008 and 2009 World Junior Hockey Championships. And he did participate for Canada in the 2014 Winter Games. So Tavares was an icon. All that. Tavares actually excelled at lacrosse. His uncle, also named John, was a legend in the National Lacrosse League. He's still the all-time scoring leader in National Lacrosse League history and would help Toronto do well. Tavares had a lot of challenge, which was amazing. So the OHL said that you cannot be under the age of 15 to be drafted in the OHL. The OHL had an exceptional player clause, and they decided Tavares can be drafted 1 year earlier. So that rule was granted. Only 5 other players in NHL in major junior history in Canada have had the exceptional rule that they're allowed to be drafted a year earlier than normal. Aaron Ekblad, Connor McDavid, Sean Day, Joe Fileno, and Shane Wright. So Oshawa picked John Tavares. And Oshawa is a legendary squad. Bobby Orr played in the OHL or something close to that way back when. So he actually scored his first OHL goal in his first OHL game. He actually could show he could play in the OHL immediately. He scored 45 goals his first season, which was great. And all that. He would help Oshawa do well, in a sense. So Oshawa decided to trade him to London before the 2009, at the 2009 OHL deadline. And they wanted Tavares to try to get to the Memorial Cup, so they traded him to London alongside Michael Del Zotto. Unfortunately, he did not get to the Memorial Cup. Anyway, yeah. So Tavares would lead the 2009 draft class. And of course, the Islanders successfully decided to say, hey, you know what? Let's get him first overall. So he signed his entry-level contract. He scored his first career NHL goal in his first game against Marc-Andre Fleury of the Penguins in 2009. He led the NHL rookies in scoring for much of the season. He would be a star for the Islanders. He ended up second in rookie scoring behind Matt Duchene with 54 points. Tavares signed a 6-year deal in 2011 with the Islanders to try to help him out. Tavares played for SC Bern while the NHL did lock out their players. And then he came back in the shortened season and scored 28 goals in 48 games. However, the Islanders reached the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 2007. Kind of a bitter pill to swallow for me as a Leaf fan, because 2007 was when the Islanders beat the Devils in the final day of the year to knock the Leafs out of the playoffs. So anyway, Tavares was named a finalist for the 2013 Hart Trophy, but didn't get it. He would be named captain in September 2013. Unfortunately, Tavares would suffer a torn MCL in his knee, facing off against Latvia. He missed the remainder of the Olympics and the rest of the NHL season. And he was third in the NHL at that time of injury. But he managed to do well. He almost won the Tavares Trophy, losing by 1 point to Jamie Benn. He was named a finalist for the Hart Trophy, but lost to Carey Price. John Tavares would be a gigantic hero in Game 6 of the 2016 playoffs against the Panthers. He scored a goal late in regulation, which forced overtime, and then he did it in double overtime. However, the Islanders win a playoff series for the first time in 23 years. The last time they did that was 93. They took care of Washington, and they took care of Pittsburgh in that famous 93 playoff run. The 93 playoffs, which was a fantastic playoffs to be had. So anyway, Tavares could have signed with the Islanders, and he didn't. He was a free agent. And 1 hour into the free agency period, guess who snatched him? The Leafs, signing him a 7-year, $77 million contract. He said that Toronto was a Stanley Cup contender, and he wanted to live out his childhood dream to play for his hometown team that signed the contract. He actually rejected higher-paying offers, especially with the Islanders. He left a lot of money. San Jose even offered him a 7-year, $91 million contract. The $91 million for his number 91, I suppose. So anyway, yeah. That was huge. A lot of people did not like Tavares signing with the Leafs because, the Islanders decided to hire Lou Lamoriello and Barry Trotz in the Islanders organization. And a lot of people said that Tavares abandoned the team that drafted him after coming to the conclusion he could not win with them. Tavares' number 91 would be retired by the Islanders, but not for him. The 91 would be retired for Butch Goring in 2020. Tavares scored for the Leafs in his first game as a Leaf, winning the game in overtime. Montreal. He even scored a hat trick for the Leafs in a famous 7-6 win over the Blackhawks. I was there at Hometown Hockey in Kitchener when I saw that event. Tavares made his return to Long Island February 28, 2019 to play in front of Islander fans. It was sold out. Unfortunately, he was booed and heckled. And Tavares had things thrown at him on the ice. The Islanders did win the game 6-1, so the Islanders did kind of got revenge for that. Tavares would become the third player in Leaf history to score 40 goals in his first season with the team. In fact, when he scored a hat trick March 26th of 2019, he became the third player in modern team history to record multiple hat tricks in his debut season with the club, following Wilf Paymont and Daniel Marois. Remember that name? Anyway, Tavares was named the 25th captain in Leaf history, October 2019, filling the void that was there for 3.5 years. Unfortunately for Tavares, this past season was a nightmare. Despite him doing decent in the regular season, in the playoffs, Game 1 against Montreal, He was upended by Habs defenseman Ben Chariot. And then while laying on the ice, Corey Perry tried to jump over Tavares' head, but Perry's knee clipped Tavares on the head. Tavares was transported to the hospital. Corey Perry did feel remorse and all that. Unfortunately, though, that would be the straw that broke the back. Despite the Leafs taking a 3-1 series lead against the Habs, they choked it away. It wasn't Tavares' fault because, after all, I mean, the Leafs did win 3 games in his absence after losing game 1. Tavares would be playing for a few World Juniors. But the 2009 gold medal in Ottawa was the huge one because the Americans faced off against Canada on New Year's Eve in 2008. Tavares would take it upon himself to help Canada come back from a 3-0 deficit to beat the Americans 7-4, scoring a hat trick. Getting his 12th career goal of the tournament, which tied Eric Lindros and Jeff Carter for the all-time Canadian record. But few can forget Tavares' play in the semifinals against Russia. Russia was up 5-4 and had a few chances to dump it down the ice, but they failed miserably. Tavares fought off a couple of players who were trying to ice it, and they backhanded a shot, which was blocked by Dmitry Kulikov and right to Jordan Eberle, who did it, and Canada won that game in a shootout. Tavares was an icon. I mean, he was named MVP. Tournament MVP. Tavares was taken to a few World Juniors, but they both times he lost in the quarterfinals. Tavares has had a great moment, especially playing the OHL as a 15-year-old man. But in the NHL, in 870 career games, he scored 819 points. In the playoffs, he scored 30 points in 37 games. Of course, you know, he could have played more in the 2021 playoffs, but that injury just ruined him. Who knows what will happen to John Tavares and all that once things come at a head. Hopefully Tavares and the Leafs can do well and win a playoff series for once. But that's just wishful thinking. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.